Hello, and welcome to the Enchanted Circle Podcast, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 4. We are a new podcast of three best friends that have known each other since high school that love fantasy books. So here we are doing what we love most, which is obviously reading, theorizing, and having a great time together. From reading in high school to reading Harry Potter, Twilight, and the Mortal Instruments series to reading Fourth Wing and ACOTAR. And hi, I'm Carolina. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 4. And as you know, we're covering Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. Yay! And we are excited and can't wait to jump back into this world that Devney created. Today we're covering chapters 11 through 16. Shout out to Steph for hosting the best Twilight party I have ever seen. And if you guys want us to post more pictures, please do.
It was so much fun.
And shout out to Taylor, who's the MVP of the entire thing. She ended up being Edward Cullen.
She was a star.
So if you guys follow us on TikTok and Instagram, you'll see that my future sister-in-law, Taylor, got a wig and was Edward. And she was the Edward to my Bella. And it was so much fun. We had a great time. I really, truly have to say that I love these parties that we get together and do and theme them out to certain books. It is so much fun.
Yeah.
You really, not only like do I find this group of women like to be just really good, like a positive group of women, but I really find that we could really be ourselves and talk about what we really enjoy. And
I love that.
There's just the conversation just flows so easily because we like the same things. And it's really special to me because it's very hard to find a group of friends who are good friends and then also love the same things you love, like with the same amount of passion. So,
and like you don't feel drained, right? Like you feel energized because you're sharing the same things and like
and
Actually, I was exhausted by laughing so freaking hard. My abs hurt. Guys, I was in literal tears, like crying, and I needed like a tissue because it was just
the
so
laughs
funny.
were the best. We laughed so much. I literally just had Twilight playing in the background the whole night, and I think we probably
very hoa
hoa. And really, pretty much, I think we went through all the movies. I think we were missing one. I think we were missing Eclipse, but like I played them all. Long story short, it was so much fun. We really missed you, Bella. But
I know
it's okay. We'll have more parties. I think our next party needs to be like, I don't know, ACOTAR theme. Oh no, we did ACOTAR. We should do Quicksilver. You get to pick, Bella. You do the next party.
Okay. Oh yeah, I know. I gotta do it. It's my turn. Yeah. I got you. Hey everyone, it's Bella. How's everyone doing? The constant chill of the fall has officially descended upon us, and I can't wait to get cozy with a good book. And to get into this season this year, I think I'm going to start some mystery thrillers. So if any of you listeners have any recommendations, please let us know. There's actually a post that we have recently on our Instagram page for seasonal recommendations, like that have a spooky vibe, a little bit like gothic and everything. So post right there, add a comment of anything you guys recommend. That mystery thrillers, it could be anything. I'll try anything. So I'm so excited for today's episode. I couldn't get to some of the theories in our last episode because I wasn't able to make it, but I can't wait to share some of them with you in today's episode. So stay tuned.
We're gonna theorize so much, Bella. You're gonna be like, "Wow, so many theories."
I am so sure that there's something you guys mentioned that I thought about.
Well, it'll come back up. It always does. Obviously, it's me, Eteph, and it's an ECP Tuesday. I am happy you guys are here. And I am happy to be here with my girls talking and laughing and theorizing. My favorite things to do with Bella and Carolina. It is so much freaking fun. It is literally false fall here in New York. So I'm having conflicted feelings, guys, because truly I really do like being warm and I don't like being cold, but like I kind of want slightly cooler weather. Like I can't get into my like sweater weather kind of vibe.
I feel you.
Exactly.
Even for my Twilight party, like, and it was late September. I was hoping for like a cool kind of gray day, and it was so hot. It was like we were all dripping sweat. We were outside. So I don't know. It's false fall. But Twilight's supposed to be that cool rainy weather, and it was not that. It was like literally summer. It was like we were in Arizona where Bella grew up,
I have like so many sweaters waiting, just waiting for me to.
I just feel like I can't do fun fall things because I feel like I'm in summer mode. Anyways, let's get into it. Let's do our thing. Let's, you know, laugh and talk and theorize and blab and blab. So
Before we blab and blab, I just have to mention content warnings. There will be spoilers for the entire book of Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. We may or may not mention interviews or posts from Devney Perry, so spoilers with that. We wouldn't want to spoil anything for you. This podcast is rated R due to the topics we discuss about this adult book. Also, we tend to curse a lot, so please be aware of children listening. Let's get into it. And just to let everyone know, we typically begin with a chapter summary, and then we deep dive into the main discussion in order of the chapters. So, chapter summary, chapter 11. Brielle gasps at something. Oh my God, did something happen? Is Odessa in danger? Nope. She's just wearing a pair of pants. Okay. They're still on the boat, and their ladies' maids, Brielle and Jocelyn, were both so seasick. And their sickness didn't make them stop from judging Odessa for wearing pants because, quote, pants are for men, end quote, as they say. Well, our girl likes them, and so do we. So as our girl reaches the ship's deck, all eyes fall on her and her pants. JK, but seriously, definitely her and how beautiful she is. And as she's about to turn and walk back down her room, guess who's there? Our guardian. Hey. He once again calls her my queen. Then the boat gets hit by an eel, aka marrow wheel. Oh. While the boat is on the verge of sinking, oh snap, the guardian is commanding the girls are staying put on deck, and Xavier is nowhere to be found. Our girl falls into the ocean with the marrow wheel. Guys, anxiety on 1,000. The marrow wheel is about to be on her. The guardian and Odessa stay focused on each other. She caught the rope and was lurched onto the ship deck. Odessa lives, but the marrow wheel does not. Xavier appears all of a sudden, a tad bit late there, bud, but the guardian is furious. Odessa speaks up for herself. More on that later. Chapter 12. The same marrow wheel that killed Odessa is now hanging from the deck on the ship. Odessa had to re-dye her hair. Insert guardian here. They bond over some banter. Odessa is like, where's my husband? Odessa, my girl, he's right in front of you. But anywho, Xavier does end up showing up, ironically. Gives some explanation as the guardian finds this amusing. The guardian proceeds to remind Odessa that they want to keep her safe if she actually stays on the ship. Okay, shade. Sir, too soon. Odessa wants to learn how to fight and defend herself. Give her girl a sword, and our guardian handed it to her. The training begins, but wait, Xavier tells the guardian it's spreading. What does that mean? Anywho, the Xavier tells the guardian arming Odessa is probably a bad idea, and maybe not, says the guardian. We shall see.
Chapter 13. Odessa dreams of home, but what she's about to realize is that land is finally near. She also realizes that some clothes were left in her room again. Okay, blessed. She decides she likes them and wears them, much to her maid's dismay. Pants. Oh, the horror. And as she goes up to the deck to look out, the man who can never stay away from her comes to her, of course. And y'all guess what? Since Des wants a weapon, he plans on training her in sword work. You guys know he just wants to be near her, Our dear princess is like a newborn baby fawn trying to walk, and the guardian has his work cut out for him. She asks for his name, and he tells her she must earn it, but she'll never earn his trust, which, obviate at this point, but to Odessa, this is something that breaks her down a little bit more. No one truly trusts her with anything, and honestly, I just feel for her. She's truly alone and lonely. As she makes her way to get off the ship, she notices the guardian looking toward land with an expression that chills Odessa's spine. As she delays getting off the ship, the guardian welcomes his queen to Tura. Chapter 14. The closer they get to shore, Odessa notes the differences between Tura and Quentus. And she especially notes that they are nowhere near a city. They seem to have landed in the middle of nowhere. Still taking in her surroundings, Odessa realizes that the high priest was there and seemed to be having a moment with the guardian. And as you all know, the Voster magic really sets Odessa off. She is introduced to Tilia, one of the guards, and they begin making their way. And as they all go, Odessa can only think of how she will earn anyone's trust, her father or her husband, or truly anyone.
In chapter 15, which wasn't very eventful, but I guess, they're trailing through the dense forest of Tura that feels like forever. And poor Odessa, her ass is hurting, her legs are hurting, like everything's hurting, and she's freaking exhausted, like being on a ship for I don't even know how many days, right? And she also starts to make a mental note of her surroundings so she can report it back to her father. And the Guardian is leading the way, leading the rest of the crew to finally set up camp, while a tired Odessa tries to make small talk with Xavier to no avail. And by the way, it was so cute. There was a scene where, the Guardian looks back to her and I guess he sees how tired she is and he starts like speeding up and she thinks, this jackass is like trying to like torture me more. But in fact, he was just rushing to like get a tent set up. So cute. I didn't even catch that the first time. So they finally reach an area full of tents surrounded by a circle of fires, and Odessa makes it to her tent where the Guardian follows her in to bother and also to check on her, but to also tell her that they will be training tomorrow. Unfortunately. Chapter 16. Odessa's having trouble going to sleep after hearing what sounded like a roar, contemplating her life back in Quentis, where she lived a very isolated life due to her status. Friends have used her in the past, so she has a very hard time trusting people. Jocelyn walks into the tent, finding Brielle asleep in Odessa's bed, but sweet Odessa tells her to let her sleep. She wanders the campgrounds as she eats the food that Jocelyn gave her until Tilia appears as her bodyguard and reveals that they are going to Elder, one of their largest fortresses. The Guardian appeared and Tilia was like, "Peace." He tells her that what she heard, that roar, was a grizzer, and proceeded to satisfy her curiosity by showing her the beast that looks very similar to a bear, but more menacing with spikes jutting out from its back. After she reminds him of his promise to give her a sword, he then confirms that they will be training tomorrow because she's too sore.
All right, on to the main discussion, chapter 11. So as Odessa and Brielle were going back and forth about the pants, we know the girls betray her, right? But in this moment, I see a brief moment of true kindness and friendship amongst them. Odessa asks, are the pants really that bad, etc.? And in conversation, Brielle says, quote, "It's different, but you look beautiful no matter what you wear, and your hair looks lovely this morning," end quote. And that was actually super kind of her and sweet, which breaks my heart with what happens to them at the end of this book. I just wanted to point that out.
They fake. That's all I gotta say. They fake.
When the Guardian sees her on the deck and tells her basically he's surprised that she didn't throw the pants out, etc., she argues back that her husband gave it to her and that it's Turin clothing and thought she'd give it a try. Our guy says, quote, "The dutiful wife, aren't you, Sparrow? At least in title," end quote. He didn't bother hiding his mocking tone, end quote. Guys, this reread is just so good. She thinks he's mocking her, but instead he's actually talking about their relationship on the down low. Well, or should I say super obvious, but not her and Xavier.
As they were talking about the marrow wheel, Odessa says, quote, "It should have killed me in the water. I felt something brush against my leg. It should have eaten me then and there. Why didn't it?" End quote. And the Guardian believes because it was too distracted with the ship, but Odessa doesn't believe she is that lucky. Now, I'm thinking, and I'm sure you guys probably thought of this as well, like she was wearing her necklace the whole time during this attack, right? And I wonder if that had something to do with it.
But I also think because she is like
she's probably like
she is a crux or whatever. I think because she is like on top of the food chain, like the crux are kind of like on top of the food chain. Maybe there's some kind of like predator versus predator thing going on where the marrow weed felt like this power emanating from her.
Oh, right.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And it could be, and that's what draw it to her specifically.
Yeah. But I'm telling you guys, something with this necklace is
100%.
Is like fishy. It's like it's making me think there has to be some connection with the beasts, like with this necklace. I'm like paying so close attention to this necklace. Like anytime it's mentioned, I'm like, all right.
I know. I think we even said last episode necklace watch or something like that because something is up with it.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep a very close eye on this. So the whole ordeal with the marrow wheel, Xavier appears. Odessa notices for the first time that one of the warriors didn't call him Your Highness. They just said Xavier. So she notes something is off here for the very first time. The Guardian is still furious because Odessa did not do what he wanted her to do, which is to keep her safe, right, during the attack. So he tells her, quote, "When I give you an order, you obey," end quote. I know. We don't like that, girls. I know. Sounds a little aggressive.
Don't they tell me what to do.
But
Don't tell me what
when
to
he
do.
told her to stay put and our girl did not because she was just trying to save Jocelyn, like, just trying to save a friend, come on. He basically going off on her. I have to quote this, quote, "If I tell you to run, you run. If I tell you to hide, you hide. If I tell you to hop on one foot and pat your hair, then you fucking hop. Do we understand?" End quote.
Motherfucker.
I know. I know this
The
set off a
audacity.
lot of people.
Yeah.
And she simply replies, quote, "No," end quote. And I love this because one, no is a full sentence.
Yeah.
Okay. And two, because this is the first time in this book, okay, that she is standing up for herself. I love this for Odessa. And she basically tells him again, no, and that you didn't order me around. And she walks away, but she does say, quote, "Thank you for saving my life," end quote, which I respect that. But the last sentence gives me chills. She thinks to herself, quote, "Someday, if I had the chance, I'd repay that favor by taking his," end quote. Do you think this is like a type of omen in the story? Like, I feel like this line isn't just a throwaway line, and it gives me chills on this reread.
I just wanted to make a mention that on page 87, right, when Xavier was checking in on her, Odessa thinks to herself, quote, "In another life, maybe I could have been a sailor. Before the storm hit, I'd spend most of my days on deck, leaving Brielle and Jocelyn to the room," end quote. And this goes to a theory of mine that Odessa has already been on a ship prior, maybe when she was too young to remember, because also in chapter 10, when Xavier was asking how she was feeling being on the ship, even though she admitted never being on a ship before, she also mentioned that it actually made her fall asleep and even snore. And this could just be a fortunate circumstance, or she finds a sense of familiar comfort, like as an infant does. And it actually, like, this kind of reminded me of like Carol, like my godson, Carol's son. Like when they were on the beach and he was listening, hearing the waves, he just fell asleep. He got so comfortable that he just, dozed off and snoozed. So it made me think of that. That maybe like this is why she's so comfortable, because it's kind of odd. How is someone that comfortable being on a ship if they've never been on a ship before? Like,
Ooh, I like that, Bella. Okay, Madrina.
Yeah, I was like, sounds very
Yeah.
familiar.
Yes, it does.
And also, I've been wondering during this reread that the reason why Odessa is more vicious around the Guardian, it could be like, they're maybe like, yeah, of course, like she's crushing on him and you kind of like, hate on the person you're crushing on. Or could it be the crux, like inside her, that is being brought out around the Guardian because of his beastly side,
Ooh, and just like Steph said earlier, it could be like the power calling to each
Well,
other,
I was
right?
gonna.
I like that. I like
That's true.
that.
I was gonna mention the same thing because she says at one point, she says for some reason she's not afraid of the Guardian. Like she's
Yes.
like, I'm not afraid of him. Like, so again, calling out to that predator versus predator kind of.
Yes.
Like matching of power. Like
Yes.
they match each other perfectly.
And it makes sense because, like, with all these other beasts, she's the same way. She's just always, like, curious, not really actually like, she could be afraid, but she's just, like, like, more courageous around them. And also, I don't know if you guys mentioned this in the last episode, but, like, how she can feel his magic, and it's interesting because she describes it as, like, a buzzing that she felt also in Roslo, and, like, I think it's very much connected to his emotions too. Like, when he's getting angry or something, like, she's feeling his magic. So, I just thought that was interesting. Like, there's, like, little tiny nugget
Yeah.
that
And I like that. And it goes back into that theory, like their powers, like they can feel each other's powers.
Yes.
I like that a
A
lot.
lot of clues here that I did not catch on the first
Mhm.
read, so I just want to say.
Or she's like, you know that meme? Like, that's mine.
Mhm.
That's my
That's
man.
so true.
Chapter 12. So I found it interesting that Odessa noted to have quickly re-dyed her hair back to brown from red. Even though she's no longer living at the castle, she still feels the need to dye her hair quickly. I just thought that was interesting. So she notes something very odd here. As the guardian was emptying out the bucket of marrow wheel blood, she said, wait, should it be red? But it wasn't. It was dark green? Just like, I know this is different, but just like the Voster's eyes, okay? Isn't that a very interesting little note here? Like, could the marrow wheels be shapeshifters?
Yeah.
Like, could they be hiding in plain sight? Like, what do you guys think?
It's actually a really good theory, Cuddle, because I really do think that that is a really big possibility that they're shapeshifters.
Because it's historic in fantasy books, like colors and eye color and things like that are really significant and they mean something
Yeah.
9 times out of 10. And this, like, when I like pointed this out, I was just like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. She also notes that the eyes are white and not black. She puts 2 and 2 together that this marrow wheel was a male, and the one back in Roslo had red blood and black eyes, and that one was apparently a female. So
I feel like maybe that what he's mentioning, like when he mentioned that he's going to deteriorate or something, maybe he's going to deteriorate as in himself, and a beast will take its place.
I subscribe to that.
You know,
I subscribe to that channel.
we'll see. Yeah, me too.
Guys. When the guardian tells her that there are other beasts besides marrow wheels to fear, she tells him, quote, like you, end quote. My heart hurt for him because he responds, quote, not all monsters are born from the gods, my queen. Some of us were made, end quote. Ugh. So Odessa's trying to find out more info about Xavier. The guardian is like, oh, why so curious? But also just ask him where he sleeps. I feel like that was a double meaning. Why are you so curious about him? And also just ask him where he keeps his company. When the guardian tells her that not to worry, that they will keep her safe if she stays on the ship, she thinks to herself, quote, I believed him. I believed Xavier and his men would keep me safe. But what if I was tired of being kept? What if I didn't want to rely on a man to be my rescuer? End quote. Now she's starting to see, like, hey, I could defend myself. I cannot allow these men to dictate anything for me, which I love that she's starting to defend herself and coming into her own. She even tells that, yes, and she even tells them that she wants a sword and learn how to fight. Like, yes, Odessa, yes, yes, yes. We love this part in Heroine
Love it.
novel. First L for Mr. Xavier is when he tells Odessa, quote, I don't want you to hurt yourself, end quote. Like, dude, come on. Like, she can definitely wield the sword if you teach her, just like, enough now. But I love that the guardian is the one to hand her the sword, okay? Like, her real hubby is like, nah, she got this. And, well, she'll learn. In these stories, right, you note that the true partner or mate or love interest always is the one that supports our main character in anything that would benefit them. So the guardian definitely did that here, just by this gesture. And Xavier and the guardian suspected probably that Odessa would try to kill them, which is why Xavier is like, quote, arming her is probably a bad idea, end quote. So they suspected something was amiss a while back already. She even wonders to herself if they know that her father wants her to spy and kill them.
Chapter 13, y'all. One of the things that may mean absolutely nothing, but maybe it's something, but it's the way to me that the birds in Tura sound so similar to the ones in Quentus. Odessa almost thinks that she's home in the castle. And like I said, it might not mean anything, but why does she find bird sounds so familiar to the ones at home? This is a reach. But could she have been in Tura before? Bella!
I was saying, because, like, honestly, weird that she's comfortable on a ship. Weird that, yeah, these are all little clues
tidbits,
to something.
Little tidbit.
Little tidbits.
I mean, what if she
And I was
had
gonna-
like her memories wiped, Like,
Yes. That could be. That
But
did
what-
cross my mind.
What if that necklace causes her memories to be wiped?
Oh,
I don't think about the necklace because I feel like the necklace is a positive thing. I don't think it would make her. She found it and nobody knows she has it. You know what I mean? She hides it.
Yeah.
True.
Unless
I'm just trying to find something.
but unless the necklace could be like a way to protect her, like memories are wiped to protect that person, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. There's a lot of mysteries here, but that did cross my mind that she probably came from Tura because of the fact that she's just so comfortable on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But also what I wanted to mention is that in the beginning of this chapter, right, when she was like on the deck walking around, right, and like observing her surroundings when they arrive, Odessa thinks to herself, quote, sometimes people would ask about my eyes, but mostly it unsettled others enough that they simply looked away, end quote. Because some of the guys on the ship, like they looked her way and they just like got scared and whatever. So I wonder if that unsettling feeling is just from them not knowing or knowing why. Like if you like catch my drift. Like if maybe some people know something about their history that is in connection with why her eyes are like that, and that's why they're like either scared of her because deep down they know, or they're just like, what the fuck, her eyes are different, like fucking freaky, you know what I mean?
Or I think it's just different. Like, to me, I would hope
I-
it's that, because imagine if everyone knows what she is and she
No,
doesn't
I
even
think it's
know.
just because
Yeah.
she's different. Because think about it. If everybody has those starbursts in their eyes and then one person doesn't, you're going to be like, what? Weirded out. You know, you're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
I find that the Guardian's interest in Odessa is so cutesy because as much as he wants to stay away from her, he just can't help himself. Remember when I said it's giving Edward watching Bella sleep? He breaks into a locked bedroom, but also it shows how much he cares because he knows dresses do not work where they are heading. And in a way, he's testing Odessa's will to learn the new ways of her new quote unquote home. I know we talk about being the blind mice podcast, but it is apparent on the reread that the Guardian has feelings, like real feelings for Odessa, and that there has always been more to him than we knew at this point on our first read. So his feelings run deep, deep. On this reread, I noticed how Brielle and Jocelyn act like weak maids, but in the end of this book, we obviously find out that they are cunning and sneaky, and
They're bitches.
they're listen,
They're very bad
very bad-
friends.
Very bad. Very bad
very bad
people.
friends, but also like they're cunning. Like they know how to fight.
Yes.
They like they're acting so weak here, but they're not.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, like pants? Oh my God. And this whole time they're bad bitches. Like, not even bad,
I
but you know what
know. And I even forgot about the pants thing, and on the reread when I was reading it, I was like, seriously? I was like, you guys are dramatic.
Yeah. And so while Odessa goes up to the deck, what is it that they are doing? Like, are they pretending to be weak? Because honestly, I think they're plotting. And besides that, why again has no one let Odessa know of anything at all of her family's secrets? And Odessa doesn't know anything. Like, literally, she doesn't know that her maids are like that. Earlier in the book, she says that she should have taken May's ladies because they knew that they were leaving and probably trained for the trip. But she thinks Brielle and Jocelyn were not prepared for this. She sees them as weak, and yet we know they are quite the opposite. So, were they put there originally as maybe guards for Odessa to protect her? But in this case, they had to be used as spies? I don't know.
Yeah.
It obviously seems like they also are in on this big secret that Odessa does not know. So, it's
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely think that they're in on this bigger plan. And obviously, I feel like we'll find out this bigger plan later. But and Odessa's like the one person that doesn't know anything
literally
that's
And
going
nothing.
on.
it's crazy that like they're part of this plan, but they don't even include her, even though she's supposed to be part of the plan too. And it's like, why? Like, why keeping all this from her, you know?
It's literally so
Yeah.
interesting. So it made me think like they're acting so weak. What are they doing in those moments where like she leaves them because she thinks they're sick, and she goes and does something. Like what are they really doing? Like a moth to the flame, the Guardian always finds Odessa, always is watching her and ready to ruffle her feathers any opportunity he gets. Because honestly, you guys are definitely fated maids. Duh. He also taunts her with shaving his face / kind of killing him. But of course, Odessa is not a killer. She's not even a spy. She's just a girl. Our girl is not a fighter either because a guardian tries to train her and she freaking trips multiple times. So, what in the hell did she do? why did her father protect her so much and train May to fight, but not Odessa? Like, I just don't get it.
I think that Odessa is something special. And that's why her father is like trying to protect her.
Agreed. And this is also where fated mates comes into play because Odessa says, and I mentioned this earlier, quote, even after hearing the rumors of the Guardian, after listening to Banner's story about his brother, I wasn't scared. Why was that? I'd attempt to dissect why later, end quote. So again, she is not afraid of him. So it's giving mate bond or it's giving predator versus predator. I don't know. And in the very next moment, the Guardian says, quote, you might earn my name one day, but make no mistake, Cross, I will never trust you. So, one, even though everyone calls her Odessa Wolf, he refuses and continues to call her Cross because he doesn't trust her and still sees her as an outsider. And two, my heart breaks for Odessa because she says, quote, yeah, well, get in line. End quote. She continued on to say, quote, was it me? Was there something I did, I said that made people inherently not trust me? End quote. Continuing on with saying, quote, so what's wrong with me that no one trusted me? Or was it really a lack of trust? Maybe the heart of the issue was faith. No one believed in me. No one had trust that I was capable. I couldn't fight. I had more than my fair share of clumsy moments. I wasn't cunning and sneaky like May. Had my father kept the whole truth about the crux and Alisaria from me because he feared I'd get caught and spill all his secrets, end quote. And all of this, it just shows me a very lonely girl. No one really is on her side. No one really tells her anything, includes her in anything. And I think maybe it was to protect her, but in keeping things from her, they have put her at a much greater risk.
I completely agree. And you'll see me say it like 100 times. I hate the fact that they hide all this stuff from her and it pisses me off. I'm like, just tell her, like, what is the big deal? You know, which I'm sure there is an explanation, obviously, but I totally agree. Just had to say that.
And in the end of all of this, Odessa's spirit is kind of broken. She doesn't believe anyone truly loves her or trusts her. And she fears everyone moved on with their lives without her. She feels so unimportant, so insignificant. The very next moment, though, they're about to get. And in the very next moment, when they dock and are about to get off the ship, Odessa notes that the Guardian's expression, which is grim, I feel like it's giving us, this is Devney's way of giving us a foreshadowing of what mess the lands in Tura are. At this point, they feel, Odessa's dad feels like the key to everything is something in Alisaria, but in the end, the Guardian looks on to Tura with a lot of contempt. So it's very interesting how it's foreshadowed in this moment when Odessa notices the Guardian just looking off to the lands and preparing himself for like war.
I love that you note that.
Chapter 14. So the girls load onto a rowboat, and what I find interesting is Jocelyn's reaction to Odessa saying she will return. Odessa says, quote, sadness filled her brown eyes, end quote. But what is Jocelyn truly sad about? Is she sad about betraying Odessa? Is she, like, or knowing what she plans to do and hiding it from her? Because truly, all we have seen is Odessa be kind and caring for her ladies' maid. Like, she has been like helping them when they were sick, and I can only imagine that since they've been her maids forever, that this is how she treated them the whole time. So, what are they really sad about? You know, they reach the shore, and it's kind of barely a shore, and she knows that there's really nothing around. It's pretty much desolate. They're definitely not heading into Alisaria, but to me it seems like it seemed like less like hiding something from her and more like not wanting to be caught by something or someone. And I mean, we know that the prince and the king, Prince Xavier and the king, his father, have no love lost between us because, you know, if you know, you know, right? Like with the guardian and the princess and the blah, 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 blah. In a weird turn of events, Odessa doesn't feel the magic of the high priest because he is there. He's talking to the guardian. So let's speculate a little bit, guys. Why is the guardian so close to the Voster priests? What is in it for the Voster priests? Because they truly seem creepy and I don't feel like I can trust them. I don't feel like they're in here. Maybe they're not bad, but I also don't think they're good. You know, what do you guys think?
To me, like, I think they're bad in a sense. So to me, I'm like, is he making a deal with them of some sort that in order to like keep Odessa safe, or like, I don't know. I just don't have any good vibes from the Voster priests.
I agree with that. I think because how Odessa feels every time she's around them, it's always like not a good sensation. So I have a feeling that they're not good.
I agree with you guys.
Yeah, they'll make this horrible deal in order to protect her life. I have a feeling that the Guardian did that.
Interesting.
What if the Vosters are man-made? There's the gods, right? The gods are involved with the crux and the monsters and all that kind of stuff. But what if the Vosters were created?
Interesting. Why doesn't Odessa feel the magic in this moment? What is blocking her from feeling the Voster magic? She says, quote, "He was speaking to the high priest. My breath caught in my throat. I didn't feel the Voster magic. Was he too far away? Why was that why I hadn't felt him on the ships?" End quote. So what do you guys think?
The
I'm
necklace.
dead. This damn necklace.
The
necklace.
necklace. I think it's the necklace. I'm just going to say
Okay,
that.
That's
I
so
don't know.
funny and so interesting.
Maybe.
And where does the Voster go? Why does he go in the opposite direction? Is he heading to Alisaria? Because we obviously know that the Guardian is not going to bring Odessa to their most sacred, secret place.
He's definitely going there for sure. He probably lived there. When he leaves, Odessa feels it in her bones that the high priest is not done ruining her life. And it made me wonder, like, could this be a little bit of a foreshadowing, like disguised as Odessa's intuition?
Definitely. I
No.
agree with you. I think there's a lot of foreshadowing going on in these little parts that is definitely going to come back
Yeah.
into play later on in the book.
I agree.
We also find out that King Ramsay, who is Prince Xavier's father, has a militia. And if I remember correctly, I think he was trying to build himself an army kind of like the Guardian, right, guys?
Yes. Yes.
We meet Tilia. We see again the heart of Odessa. She is accommodating. She is respectful. She wants to belong. She feels like she truly doesn't belong with anyone. So we see her be kind of easygoing a lot, except with the Guardian, but we know why. Like she's just feisty with him. And in this interaction that she has in this chapter with Xavier, and I'm going to quote the moment because I feel like it's important to note how lonely she is. So, quote, "So I shouldn't have told Brielle," end quote. He bent, his voice barely a whisper as his mouth came to my ear. "You didn't. How do you know?" "Because you're trying so hard to earn my trust," end quote. My heart sank. It was the truth, the pitiful, real truth. End quote for this whole segment. In the next moment, we see her wanting to belong again. Like this is a moment with her and Xavier where she just is so people pleasing, right? She's just gonna do whatever to like fit in, but then she wants to belong also with anybody because she says she thinks to herself, quote, "There might not be a clear path, but I was expected to find one anyway, and it was time to do what I vowed to do. To earn my father's trust, to do his duty for my kingdom, to save my people, to find the road to Alisaria," end quote. So she wants to please her father. She wants to kind of become the heroine in her land. She wants to be loved. She wants to be included. She wants people's trust. And she's willing to do anything to kind of accomplish that, whether it's killing the Guardian at this point, where she feels like she needs to do to gain her father's trust, or keeping all these secrets with Xavier so she can gain his trust, or earn, the Guardian's name and earn his trust. Like this poor girl, she is like down in the dumps, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she really is. And it's sad, right? Because like all she knew is like her family at home, and like she's lonely, and like she doesn't really have any friends, even though she thinks her ladies' maids are like her friends, but they're not, obviously. And it's just so sad to see how much that affects her now.
Yeah.
Like she's still holding on to those relationships so hard. And it's like, girl, there is a good man in front of you. You let the past go, girl. Let it go.
I think it's so like risky that Devney made like the Guardian, right, as her husband. Like, and it's the secret, right? Like that, Odessa doesn't know that that's her husband, but like she wants to kill him to satisfy her father. And it's like, what if she succeeded and like she died? Like that's such a risk. That's such a
I
huge
know,
risk.
right?
I mean, the Guardian not even telling her, because remember, like later on, we find out the Guardian kind of suspected that she was a spy. So this whole time, he knows that she's trying to get information for her father, and she also might kill him. And he doesn't say shit. Like he's just keeping up his little charade. And at any moment, like she could kill him. And then he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, we both die. Okay." That's nuts.
She's like, okay, cool. And that's just like, you're very low key for this right now.
Yeah, it's like such a huge risk. Chapter 16. Odessa observes that the Guardian can see in the dark. So, like, when they get there, they're traveling through for hours and hours on a horse. She realizes that, oh, he can like easily maneuver through there. So, that's probably one of his powers, right? Xavier tells Odessa that grizzers were beasts who hunted in the coastal forests but had poor vision, which is why it would be best to travel at nighttime. And this is like just one of the few conversations that she's able to have with Xavier, because she's by at this rate, like I will probably take like years to get to know my husband. As they're like traveling to their encampment or whatever, we learn that Tura is also the largest of the five kingdoms. So we know that if they're the largest, right, they have the most resources, they probably have a bigger army, more powerful, yet they're also the most secretive. On this reread, I can't help but grin every time the Guardian calls her my queen, knowing now that, that they're actually married. So like a play on words, or like a double.
Like, regardless, he's still
Yes.
like this like petty drama between them, but he still is elevating her to queen status. Even as how we find out that he is her true husband, like he still calls her his queen, so he is elevating her.
Yes. And he doesn't even he could call her your highness, your majesty, or whatever, but no, he says my queen. And I think that I think when we're reading, like we do notice that like the other people in the crew, like they probably call her your highness, and they don't say my queen. I don't think so. So there's a scene where she asks the Guardian to tell Xavier that she would like to speak to him later in private, and the Guardian immediately replies, "Why?
Eh?
Shell? Eh?" And she tells him it's none of his business and that she will go find his tent herself if it comes down to it. And he then teases her by saying that she can wander into his tent because Xavier doesn't mind sharing.
Oh, snappity
I
snap.
would turn so red. I would be as red as a tomato if that was me. And she gets all flustered, and his eyes at this moment also turn that emerald green, which I think we can assume now that this means that he's interested or something like that. In chapter 16, while Odessa was huddled next to Brielle, um, so first of all, Odessa couldn't sleep, right? And she's like, she's next to Brielle, and Brielle, I think, like hugs her waist, I guess thinking it's someone that she loves or whatever. Because she overhears Brielle say, quote, "Miss you," in her dreams. And now we know that she is missing Banner, that biatch, that traitorous
It's on
biatch.
site. It's
Damn
on
right.
site with her.
Yeah.
It's
We
on
literally
site.
curse her out every single 2 seconds, and I love it.
She's such a she pisses me off. As Odessa's mind wandered, Jocelyn came into the tent to check in on her and to also give her food, and was surprised to find Brielle sleeping in Odessa's bed. And guys, look how sweet Odessa is, right? Instead of waking up Brielle, telling her, like, get the fuck up, bitch, it's my bed. She put a finger to her lips, signaling Jocelyn to be quiet while she slipped out with Jocelyn to eat her food. And Jocelyn wanted to wake Brielle up, but Odessa was like, no, 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 like, leave her, How fucking cute is that? She's a cutie patootie.
But that's what makes
Mhm.
their betrayal like so much worse.
So
Stuff.
It just goes to show again, like how she has always treated these women, and why it makes their betrayal so much worse, because she is a good person. Like Odessa is a good person. She wears her heart on her sleeve. So
yeah,
Yeah, the betrayal, it makes the betrayal hurt even more.
even more. Yeah. Like, I don't understand how if like someone was being that nice to me, I don't understand how someone could just like take that and betray someone, you know what I mean? Who's like, that's so fucked up. So as Odessa leaves the tent, she's like wandering around and she's like, finally, like I have my freedom. I didn't have this freedom when I was in Quentis. Like there's no one following me. That was short-lived because Tilia shows up and starts walking behind her. And as Odessa's talking to Tilia, it looks behind her, and Odessa knows that the guardian is behind her because it says, quote, "There was no need to turn to see who stood at my back. I felt his presence. It was as noticeable as the waves of heat rolling off the fires." End quote. I first of all love how like the description of how she feels like when in his presence with his like magic and stuff. So I thought that was very interesting. Once again, she's like sensing his magic, you know? And as the guardian so now the guardian takes place for Tilia instead of Tilia. And as the guardian is escorting her around the encampment, Odessa begins to wonder if he and Xavier are related because of their very similar physical features. And of course, like honestly, like in the first read, I didn't even really pay attention there. So the guardian shows Odessa, like now, like towards the end, she's curious about the Grizzer. He's talking to her about the Grizzer. That's what she heard. And she's like, "Oh, like I want to see it." And he's like, you know, really? And she's like, "Yeah, dude, fuck yeah." So like he goes to show her the Grizzer. And she notes that it has spikes lined on its spine and it looks like a bear, but it has like a longer snout. The spikes on its spine is probably like a defense mechanism that protects them from getting like swooped up by during the crux, which is probably why there's so many of them, is what she thought about. So I found that to be very interesting. Like I wonder if these beasts can evolve.
Ooh, I like that point.
Yeah, I wonder if they could evolve to like over time, like to protect themselves against the crux or something, you know?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
I like that, Beller.
He then said after he showed the Grizzer, he was like, "All right, we're gonna train tomorrow because you're obviously tired because you're being a good friend to Brielle." Well, he didn't say that, but you know.
He probably looked at the Grizzer and was like, "Oh my, I need to protect her from this, like, immediately. We're training immediately."
Yeah. But you
Yeah.
know what's interesting though? Like, I wonder if he just was watching her the entire time
Mhm.
because he said like, "Yeah, we'll train tomorrow." And I wonder if it's because she looked really tired or because maybe he knew that she didn't sleep because I don't know, he like saw, I don't know.
Oh, could be.
I don't know.
Him being thoughtful, maybe,
Maybe. We'll see.
to his queen.
Yeah.
And on that note, thank you so much for being here tonight. It truly means the world to us that you're here. And please message us. Let us know what you think or you would want or you would like for us to include in our next episodes. We truly, truly appreciate your feedback. And until next time.
Yes, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to doing this again.
We are just your local trio of best friends enjoying each other's company and talking about what we love the most, Xaden fucking Ryerson. All right?
The Guardian.
And then Kingfisher. And then the Guardian.
Hey.
They're in a tie right now. But, you know, Xaden's on top of my pyramid. Hey.
I'm going to start like a scroll and just like, you know, flip it open so we can name all of them. Like,
Yeah,
Literally.
just whip it out. Just whip out your
out.
skull.
It's like a CVS receipt.
yeah. Yes.
This podcast is so much fun to make when you have Carolina and Bella doing it with you.
And you.
Remember to follow us on @Enchanted Circle Pod on Insta and TikTok, and follow/subscribe to our podcast channel on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or YouTube. A lot of options, guys. Until next time on the Enchanted Circle Pod.